Welcome to Bless This Mess in the True Crime Podcast. I'm Carrie here with Stu. Say hey, Stu.
Hey.
Are we? All right.
What the hell was that?
I don't know, Stu, okay? I told you that I said whenever they wanted to be unanimous, I meant, and you're like looking at me. I'm like, you mean anonymous? I'm like, yes.
Unanimous, anonymous.
Same
New,
tomato.
blue.
Yes. Tomato.
Tomato, potato.
Anyways, I have something competing for brain cells right now. It's really taken a turn downhill. I'm doing a lot of work at work too, like important stuff here at the end. So
it's like, going to be all messed up.
I was like, I can't be held accountable for anything that potentially a outside body could be
government body
questioning. So yes, part of my job involves submitting documents to the government, so it is what it is. No, I'm very on top of it at work, okay? I use all my brain cells there, and then I just, like, forget things. I was put chapstick on the other day, like yesterday, the day before, and I just threw it in the trash after. I was like, what am I doing?
You threw the chapstick away?
Yeah, I put chapstick on it, and I just opened the trash, threw it away. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, I did that the other day. I was like, oh.
That's the first time hearing of that.
Well, I don't tell you everything I do that's stupid. So anyway, I did do that the other day. Anyways, we're supposed to record this, obviously, this week. Listen, guys, I am 38 weeks pregnant. And also, I am, like, I like to give Stu a hard time. Like, I am in early labor. Because technically I went yesterday, which is why we didn't record yesterday. I just had a day. So just briefly, update, TMI, I'm 4 centimeters. So I am in like they were going to do like a membrane sweep, which is like a way to help induce. But she was like, you only want to do this if you want to have a baby this weekend. And I'm like, potentially. I know they don't always work, but she said, because this is your 4th baby. You're like progressing some. So anyway, I declined that because I am not prepared, like I said last week.
To become a mother this weekend?
Yes, like we said last week, still didn't have my hospital bag packed, still didn't have any of my pump stuff ready to go, still didn't have a name. I still have work to do this weekend. I'm working this weekend. Like, we got a lot of balls in the air. None of them are Stu's. Anyway, so that's the update. That's why I just had to take a day yesterday. I had to go get a pedicure because I was like, I can't go into labor with the feet looking like this. Because I had taken a pause on my pedicures because they've gotten so expensive. Like, you used to be able to go get a pedicure for like between $25 and $40 total or whatever, just your basic pedicure. No. It's like a base pedicure starts at around $50 out here, plus the tip. So anyways, so I was like, I hadn't been getting them, and then I'd been doing them myself, but I've gotten to the point where I can't like bend over like that. So
I had to go down and get my pedicure last week too.
Yeah, Stu tried to steal my thunder by having an ingrown toenail that needed to be removed this past week too as well. Yes. So I had to leave work early because he was just like, what pisses me off is because I told him to stop messing with him and to go see a doctor. He's been dealing with these for years.
Oh, we're bringing this out on the
podcast. Yes, I said, go. I don't have any sympathy for you. I'm like, I told you, he just sits there and tries to dig them out himself and just like in here just digging in his foot. I'm like, you're going to give your toe an infection or something like that. So he's been doing this for years. So finally it got to a point where this one he couldn't get out because they were too bad. I'm like, just go. We have insurance. Just go to a podiatrist. So he had to hurry up. And so we looked around and found somebody that could take him that day. And I came home from work to watch the kids.
Don't act like you didn't want to come home from work.
Oh, I definitely wanted to go home from work because I'm at the point where also I'm very uncomfortable at work. So sitting in the chair all day.
So I did you a favor. Thank you. That's all you got to say is thank you, Kara.
Because then now I've had to deal with you be like, look at my toe. I've got to soak my toe in Epsom salt. I've got to go get the other one removed in 2 weeks.
I'm not getting the other one removed in 2 weeks.
Well, you're going to get it removed at some point.
Well, I'm sure at some point.
Anyway, so Stu's
I've had a week.
had a week. Okay, he's had a week.
Had to get my toe done. Had to hear about it from Kara for. And if you've listened to this podcast, you know if you got to hear about it from Kara, Jesus Christ, it goes on and
Only because
on
I've told him
and
to take
on.
care of this for years.
Yep, see, there it is
We're
again.
actually
I'm
past
hearing
a
it again.
decade at this point to tell him to take care of it properly.
I'm hearing it again.
I said because they can go and have it removed and then they can do things to help him not grow back. But he doesn't do that. So every 6 weeks we have to hear about his fucking ingrown toenail.
You ain't got to hear about shit.
I know, but I know you're in
just
here
walk-
just digging in things.
Yeah, I don't tell you. You just walk in just to see what I'm doing.
He also
monitoring
doesn't.
me.
No, he also doesn't do them properly because I had an ingrown toenail like maybe a couple months ago, and I looked at all the proper ways you're supposed to treat it, and I was able to get it taken care of on my own just to get it to grow out properly, cut it, grow out properly, so it did not come back. I'm just saying. Anyways, but that's what we've been doing this week.
Fighting about ingrown toenails.
I did throw all my mallard stuff, my mallard baby stuff, in a pile last night and Stu threw it in a bag. So we do have part of the hospital bag packed.
We got some baby stuff packed.
Yep.
In case
I have
going to labor.
I have a new pajama that I got in there.
New blanket.
I got a new blanket.
New book, probably.
I got 2 new books that were on color scheme
You
to
think
match.
you're just going to have time to lay around the
No,
hospital
I
reading
know.
books?
I'm going to have time to read them whenever I get home.
Oh.
I'm not taking them to the hospital, but they match the color, the whole green color scheme.
Yeah, the whole theme we got going on.
Yes. So anyway, so
Chauncey
that's where we're at.
Benedict.
Chauncey Benedict, yes. All right. So that's it.
Should we call him Lord Chauncey Benedict?
Yes, the third. Lord
Esquire.
Chauncey Benedict the Third
Esquire.
shall be what is the word called that? What do they do when they knight or they give the crown to whenever they make them the king and queen?
Coronation.
The coronated on said May 12th or no March 12th. That would be a really big baby. Yes, while I was at my ultrasound, Stu sent me the pics. Everyone keeps sending me that thing about the 14-pound baby in New York or whatever because everybody thinks the doctor's like, baby's going to be huge and everything like that. So I'm guessing that person had that had the baby with the C-section.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
That was a very large child.
I don't know how you get that out, a 6-month-old at that.
Plunger and some forceps is all I can think.
So, anyways, moving on from this because I know that not everybody's here for this.
Ingrown toenails
and baby and dilations. So, anyways, so we're going to put this out on Patreon and then we're going to put this out everywhere else on we're having a hard time midweek releases, so because we just seem to be able to record on Fridays normally, so we might be altering the schedule until. I'm fixing to go on maternity leave, then everything just opens up. But it's hard when I'm at work during the week and I'm tired and everything else.
So you're saying we might get more regular episodes while you're on maternity leave?
I don't know. I know I can't guarantee that.
I said might.
Might. I'm not making any promises anymore. I tell people stuff all the time and then I don't do it. So
I know. I've been hearing.
Anyways,
it for
we want to
15
thank
years.
all the Patreons. We appreciate you. We'll be recording a Shoot the Poo this weekend as well and putting that out. And then we will something.
You just lost your thought.
Yes, I did. Anyways, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, follow us there. I think that's it. Yes.
Are you sure?
That is it. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get into this week's episode out of Virginia, Stu.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't been there in a while.
No, we have not. I don't
Is
believe.
it the South? It's close.
Old South?
Yeah. We
New South?
counted.
Me?
We counted. All right. So on November 18th, 1994, Robin Lawrence. This is absolutely crazy case. I watched this on. This was an episode of People Magazine Investigates, and it's like, just like crazy. Just the person who did it, the circumstances around it. So anyway,
Here we go.
yes, here we go. On November 18th, 1994, Robin Lawrence is home alone in Springfield, Virginia, with her 2-year-old daughter Nicole. Now, her husband, Ollie, he had left that day for a business trip in the Bahamas. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds likely.
Sounds fishy to you?
Yes. Although we might be going on a business trip to... We'll talk about that and shoot the poo. So, anyways, a day or two goes by. Remember, this is 1994. So he's trying to contact Robin. So, calling the house phone. That's what they have. And he's unable to. So he decides to go ahead and call the police department. The local police department in Virginia is who he's calling to see if they can go by and do a welfare check. Well, they said they are unable to because he's in the Bahamas. This is like sketchy. Just because he's in the Bahamas, like I don't know if they asked him where he was from or the phone call coming in. They were like, "Oh, you have to contact the local. Would it be Bohemian?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yes, Bohemian. The Bohemian police department, the local police department, and have them fax over a request because it's 1994. Fax. Who knows? Probably there's still police departments are like, well, we're going to need it via fax. So, fax over a request to do a welfare check. Like that's going to take, who knows, at least several hours, possibly a day or something. And he's worried about his wife and child all the way back in Virginia. So he's like, this is crazy. I'm not doing that. So he ends up calling one of Robin's best friends and asks if she can go over and check on Robin and Nicole. Well, the best friend heads on over to the home. She brings another friend with her. And at this point, nobody's heard from Robin in about 2 days. She goes to the home. She knocks on the door. No one answers. So she does see a window open on the side of the house. So her and the friend decide to hey, we're just going to climb in because this is strange. When she enters the home, she starts seeing some blood, and then she sees 2-year-old Nicole, and she has blood on her. Her diaper has been completely soaked through. Clearly hasn't been changed in a couple days, and she looks very dehydrated, very unwell. I think at that point the baby had to even stop crying, because eventually if they cry long enough, they just shut down,
Yeah, because nobody comes, nobody helps, and they're like, they just stop.
It's probably also like a survival mechanism because at some point you got to start, even at 2, you got to start saving the energy. So they ran over to a home next door and they grabbed the baby, ran over to the home next door and called the police. This is just a small interlude from the case.
Mm-hmm.
What I was trying to remember earlier was I was going to thank Tommy. She bought us a coffees.
Us?
3 coffees. And let me tell you what, because we do have Buy Me a Coffee if you guys ever want to just buy me a coffee. I already know exactly which coffee I'm going to get because I have the gestational diabetes. I don't know if I mentioned that. I've had it all 4. So I am on little to no sugar. I mean, do I sneak some sugar in every once in a while? But I can't drink the coffee I want. I can't do anything. So I'm already know what coffee I'm going to get.
Double pump sugar with a latte foam.
I'm going to
cream.
have you go to Dutch Brothers and get it's the 911, and it's called, it's got the word kick in it. It's like an Irish cream, and the 911 means it has 6 shots of espresso.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You're going to have a heart attack.
No, I won't. I never drink the whole thing. I just... Fine, since I'll be pumping, I probably shouldn't give the baby 6 shots of espresso. Although it needs to learn to live within my lifestyle. I'm not living within its lifestyle, So that's what the dietitian yesterday, because I haven't seen a dietitian because the gestational diabetes plus the insurance covered it's free. So I'm like, okay, well, might as well. Anyways, she's like, just be mindful of caffeine and when you feed it to the baby and stuff like that. And I want to be like, bitch. This is my 4th time doing this. I do not need any tips or tricks on... if there's anything I don't need tips or tricks on, it is pumping and, feeding the baby milk. I know all the stuff.
Do you know?
Yes.
Can we move on with this?
Yes, go on. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Anyway, so I just wanted to say thank you. I really, really appreciate it. And I already know exactly where... I'm getting that coffee.
Spiraled out of control real quick.
Yes, it did, as does many things. Now we have almost 4 children.
Yes, we do.
I have a theory on that, and I'm going to talk about it.
Shoot the poo.
Yeah, I have a theory, but it's It's a theory.
No, it's a theory.
Okay, go on.
Police entered the home, and initially there doesn't look like anything is going on. There was no struggle or signs of robbery or anything like that, and it's not until they enter into the hallway in the master bedroom area that they see all the blood. In the master bedroom, this is where they find 37-year-old Robin Lawrence. She has multiple stab wounds. Her throat was cut to the point where she's almost decapitated. An autopsy would lead a reveal that she had been stabbed about 47 times. While authorities...
An autopsy would lead reveal.
I'm just reading what you wrote.
Later, I believe the word would have been later, Stu.
And autopsy would lead a reveal. That's what it said.
Okay, listen.
I tried to fix it on the fly, but my brain couldn't do it.
Okay, well, I'm in a hurry when I'm doing these, Stuart, okay? An autopsy would later reveal, okay?
An autopsy would later reveal that she had been stabbed about 47 times.
This is a bad time to be...
Yes.
We are absolutely not, before we get the letters, we're not laughing about the situation. It's just like, sometimes you have to dissociate when you're doing this type of, like,
yes,
true
I mean,
crime
you can't
stuff.
do that. You can't be, like, all involved in this every time.
Yeah, you can't be, like, super emotionally involved because it's, if you really start, like, the 2-year-old being in the house is, like, really traumatizing
And
if
ain't
you really
nothing
think
happened to
about
her.
it. And, well, I mean, nothing physically, like, she wasn't harmed in the... physically in terms of from the person who did this.
The commission of the original
but
crime.
if you really think about, like, we have a 2-year-old and, like, her walking around in the house, like, it's very traumatizing. It's very disturbing.
It's traumatizing that she might be up for 20 minutes crying and we don't hear her in our room. If it were to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, you usually hear her after about 5 minutes.
5 minutes?
What?
Not even 5 minutes.
If you're sleeping? Dead
no,
asleep?
I can hear her from right off the bat.
You wake up right when she starts crying?
Yeah, just about.
Not
within
me.
a minute. I know you don't. I've read a study about that, though, for men.
We're going to hear about that, too?
No, I'm not going to go into it.
Okay. While authorities are processing the crime scene, they assist 2-year-old Nicole. The 2-year-old had gone through a liver transplant, so the fact that she had been without food and water for a couple days, it's a pretty severe situation. The child also appeared traumatized.
More so than, like, a child that hadn't been through that. Like, she was near death at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even... Because I think you got to take the meds and everything for the transplant.
Yeah, I'm sure she was on some sort of medication, and definitely being dehydrated is a big no-no.
The child also appeared traumatized to the point that she had been in the home with the mother, who was clearly deceased for an extended period of time. They get Nicole to the hospital and begin giving her fluids and treating her rash from her diaper being not changed for 2 days. Thankfully, Nicole was unharmed and would recover from this ordeal.
Crime scene investigators continued to process the scene. It appeared that Robin had attempted to use the phone, but it looks like she was interrupted by the intruder, and the intruder then cut that phone line, and that's how she was in the master bedroom when all this was happening. They believe, like, she ran in there, tries to use the phone, he follows her in, and he cuts the cord. It did not appear that there was any sexual element to the crime. She did not have any signs of sexual assault in her autopsy. Now, Robin, around her, they had found a box of tissues as well. This is where it's really sad. A box of tissues, a children's book, and a bottle of milk. They believe that the 2-year-old had brought these things, the tissues, to, like, help clean up mommy and stuff like that. Like with the blood, like she was trying to help. And then she brought her book to her to read her, and then was sitting there with her, like, probably the last bottle that her mom had made her. Anyway, so, yeah, if you think too deep into that, you can get really, it's like,
yeah,
it's
that's
disturbing.
Yeah. That'll send you on a spiral.
Yep. Anyway, so it seemed like she was probably still trying to interact with, because of the wounds that Robin had, she wouldn't have lived that long, so she was probably still trying to interact with her mom now that even after she had passed away. Now, as they move through the house looking for any other signs, they do find a bloody washcloth in the bathroom, and it did stand out to them because the injuries that Robin had sustained were all in the master bedroom, and she would not have been able to leave that room after she was attacked. So they do think that this blood could potentially belong to the killer, or the killer was, like, using the washcloth to clean up themselves before leaving. So they were able to take that washcloth and perform some DNA testing on it. However, DNA testing back then was very, very new. So, but they did know it was. They did know of its potentials by then, though. So this was 1994, so they knew it could be very important in the future to help solve this case if they couldn't do it right now. They determined that the point of entry was the same window that the friend climbed through to check on Robin. So there was no other entry points to the house. They looked for any signs of a burglary. Nothing was taken from her purse. She had jewelry laying around, and nothing was taken. So they do not believe that was the motive. And then we'll learn they were like they made good money. So like she probably did have like valuables in the house that should have been taken had that been the motive. Now, it appeared that whoever broke in just did so to kill Robin. Like, that was completely the entire motive. Came in, killed her, and left.
Now that police believe they have their motive, which was that somebody broke in just to kill Robin, they now need to look at her life and see who might want to harm her.
Yeah, because they killed her, but it was, like, overkill.
There's no sexual
Well, no, but it was
overkill.
overkill. So it's just like, was it someone that knew her? You know, that's what they're having to look into because it seems like it would be personal to be that
47
angry.
times.
As opposed to, like, to me, if it was just a hired to kill her or something, it would be a single gunshot or something like that, you know?
Yes, police began looking into Robin and Ollie's marriage. Robin met Ollie when she was living in Washington, D.C. They married, then they moved to Springfield, Virginia in 1989. Now, by all appearances, they were very happy and a very successful couple. Robin was working in advertising, and she was a very good artist, and she enjoyed her work. Ollie was an executive for U.S. Airways, and he was also very successful as well, Kara.
Which is why he was in the Bahamas which would make somewhat sense to go to the Bahamas.
For a business trip?
Yes.
Robin and Ollie seemed happy. Robin was very energetic, she was very positive, and had a good relationship with her family. In 1992, they welcomed their daughter Nicole, and everything seemed to be going well for the couple. But this appeared to be a crime of passion, so they needed to look at the husband. I don't know why.
Of course, the husband.
However, when checking on Ollie, he had an airtight alibi for where he was at the time. He was all the way in the Bahamas. There's phone records showing that there's him calling from the Bahamas. However, as they're talking to Ollie, they do discover that he had been having an ongoing affair for the past decade.
Yes, he was very, like, open about this. He just admitted to police, like,
Yeah.
probably going to find out about this.
Let me tell you now.
Yeah.
So he was with this woman prior to meeting Robin, and then as well as after they were married. This gives Ollie clear-cut motive that even if he didn't kill Robin, he had a reason to want to get rid of her, maybe pay somebody to do it.
Although if he was cheating or he saw the one before continued to cheat while he was with it, I don't know why all of a sudden he would just suddenly be like,
I got to be with this other woman.
yeah, I
now.
got to be. He had a chance to be with her prior to meeting Robin, so I don't know if this just.
Yeah, I don't even get that one.
No, I don't either. Some men can't. Some men are not meant to be
Married?
Yes, they need to just go be their little bees or whatever. But don't be making new humans. Just be your little bee.
Don't be a baby daddy to a bunch of women.
Yes, just go have fun, but don't be making new humans. He probably because to be honest with you, if he's like higher up at this big company, it looks good. I mean, where I work, it looks good if the men are like family, it helps them move up in their career. It's
Yes.
one of these things that it helps them if they have a stable. Even I know a lot of shitty men that I work with that I like should not be married. And like you hear all these stories and stuff like that, but it's like it helps them career wise if they have a wife and a child and they have this stable home life and then they still continue to do their bullshit on the side.
Go down to the Gold Club.
Yep.
The Panther. What is that one here in Odessa? The Panther Club?
The Jaguars.
Jaguars.
Yep.
Yeah. I haven't been there yet.
And then we have the Fuego's coffee shop.
What's that?
Remember I told you about that?
No.
It's they're like half dressed. Remember when I went there because I thought I saw the line. I thought the coffee was really good. But when I pulled up, I was like, oh, that's not why the line's long. I bought the coffee. Everything was fine. Everything but they were like bikinis and like cut off like booty shorts and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then always like going to make the coffee and turn around and you can see their butt cheeks.
I need to go get some coffee.
No, you don't, Stuart. Anyways, the line would be like around the thing, and I was like, wow, this is like must be like a really
The
good
best
little
coffee ever.
coffee shop because it was just one of those ones where it was like a standalone house or whatever, like a
Mm,
standalone little shed shack type thing.
mm.
And I was like, man, I need to go try that because one time the line wasn't that long, and so I went over there, and then yeah, I figured out why the line was long. It was not the
Just a bunch of dudes,
coffee was not that good.
kind of like going to the restaurants.
Yes, if it was good, I'd go back. Like Twin Peaks, I find their food was good.
Yes.
But like Hooters
Hooters?
and stuff, if your
No,
food's not good anymore, then
no.
and frankly, the Hooters, the girls had gone downhill as well. So
Damn. There's some shade being thrown.
they're all over at not Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks. The other one that we had in Lafayette was the Kilted Tilt. Now that was really terrible food.
Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah, it closed down. Yeah,
Yes. Then they opened the Twin Peaks. I think the Twin Peaks is still going.
yeah, because it had good food. I feel like, or
Yeah.
it did.
Yeah, you got to have some good food or people ain't going to come in at a certain point.
Yeah,
It's just a strip club with a lunch buffet.
it's not a strip club.
Well, yeah, I know. That's why people ain't going to go because they ain't that's as far as undressed as they'll get.
Okay, we've digressed. Could you just where are we at, Stu? We've digressed. We're gonna get a letter.
We're talking about Ollie's alibi.
Yes.
So they begin to look into the financial records and really looking into Ollie to see if they could find out if he paid someone, hired someone, whatever you want to call it, to do this. However, they could never find any evidence of a transaction that would be large enough to
Like they
say,
didn't see
hey,
evidence of him taking out funds from his bank account, transferring to anybody, anything like
yeah, they
that.
didn't see him transferring funds, withdrawn.
Because he would have had the money to pay for someone to pay someone to do this, but there would have been some sort of withdrawals.
Now, although they can't find any financial transactions, they're not 100% sure on Ollie's innocence due to this affair he's having. They do speak to the mistress. They find out that she was invited to the Bahamas with Ollie. However, she chose to stay back in Washington, D.C., and investigators found this odd because why would the mistress not want to go to the Bahamas for a week? So they asked for her alibi, and she says she was at home all night, alone, watching TV. So there's no one that can verify her alibi. However, they have nothing else to go on besides thinking that she might be involved somehow. There's no evidence. So they're at a standstill with Ollie and the mistress.
Yeah, I don't know why she wouldn't go, but I don't know how often he went to the Bahamas. Like this could be like a frequent thing. She's just mad at him. She's like, "I'm not going with you.
I'm not going.
I'm tired of this.
I've already been twice this month.
I don't want to go again. I don't know what.
I just want to stay home and watch TV.
It sounds like if he's going on business trips, then there's probably a frequent because U.S. Airways. I don't know. They might have like an
Companion
office down
pass.
there or something.
Probably get a companion
Well, no,
pass for her.
Yeah, or he has money. He could just he probably has free passes
Yeah.
to give out. So and if I don't know if they had an office down there or something like that. They are still waiting on the DNA profile to come back because at this point it could take months up to a year because this is how the science and technology was at the time with DNA profiling. It was not there was no quick turnarounds. It could just take like a very long time to get this information. Now during this time they continue to compile a suspect list so that whenever they do get this DNA profile, they can start taking samples and comparing. It would be about a year later that they receive that DNA profile. They compare it to Robin's blood, and it doesn't belong to her. So they know now that this blood belongs to her killer. So during the attack, somehow he must have cut himself, or Robin was able to cut him during all this. However, it does not. So they had that suspect list. So they compared everybody on that suspect list that they got samples from. It doesn't match anybody on there either. It doesn't match Ollie or the mistress. So all they have is this DNA profile, but they don't actually have a person to go along with it. Now, CODIS is up and running at this time, so they submit the DNA profile, and however, it comes back without a hit, because I'm assuming at this point CODIS probably doesn't have that large of a database either.
No.
Because now there's, laws about if you do certain level of crime, you automatically get your DNA sample gets put into CODIS now, so we have a pretty large database. So this indicates that the killer has not committed another violent crime to get themselves into that database as of now.
Decades would go by and there would be no hits in the CODA system, and the case was completely cold. It wouldn't be until 2019 when genetic genealogy became a reliable science that they began working with a private lab called Parabon. The lab built a sketch based on the DNA profile and asked the family to look at it, but it was a pretty generic white guy with blonde hair and blue eyes.
Yes, it was literally the most basic bitch picture.
Vanilla white guy
Yeah,
ever?
like literally, like I'm like, you guys didn't solve anything with
That
this
could be
one.
one of 150 million people.
Yeah, it was really, really generic. There was nothing distinguishing about him whatsoever.
Yes, they show it to the family. The family didn't recognize him, so this is a dead end at this point. They were able to map out a portion of a family tree, but it was very, very broad. However, a genealogist volunteer did offer to work the case and manually go in and try and build this family tree to try and get a closer, smaller sample or group of people to look at. The genealogist works tirelessly to narrow it down to a man that was living in Northern Virginia in 1994, and his name was Stephen Smirk.
Yes, it's a shame though that we have to like have volunteers to be able to solve these crimes because we don't have enough budgets and police departments, so people have to volunteer their time to go and do this stuff.
You wouldn't
Anyways.
volunteer your time to go solve crime?
I mean, yeah, if I had that type of skill set, I don't. I just have type this whatever this is, which isn't a
Ramble
skill.
on.
Rambling and make people angry. Anyways, they begin looking into Steven. He does kind of look like the sketch, meaning he's white.
He's a vanilla white dude.
He has a military history, but no violent crimes or anything like that. They find out that he is currently living in upstate New York with his wife and 2 children. So they go to his home and ask him if they can get a DNA sample. He seems unbothered about the whole situation. He just willingly gives up a DNA sample, and they leave a card behind and say, hey, if you'd like to talk to him anymore, feel free to contact us. Well, shortly after leaving the home, the investigator gets a call from Steven, and he said that he is up at the local police station. And she's like, hey, why are you up at the local police station? And he said he would like to turn himself in for the murder. Just
out of the blue.
Yep. A bit in shock, they head up to the station to interview Steven. Well, Steven tells authorities that he is the one that killed Robin. Now, they need to make sure that he has some sort of detailed information about the crime, and he's not just somebody that's like one of these weirdos that likes to be like, hey, I want to be involved.
Hey, I want to be involved. I'd like
even
to
if I get thrown in jail
for life, maybe
Yes.
even the death penalty. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Whatever, I'm up for whatever. I just want to be part of this whole situation you guys
Put
got
my
going
name
on.
in the news. Smirk, Smirk. Don't get it wrong.
Yes.
Steven with a PH, not a V.
I can't remember if it's Steven with the. It is Steven with a PH. I could have spelled that wrong though. So,
I'm just going based on what you
I
wrote.
know you are. Anyway, so like I said, they need to talk to him and just see if he has anything. So they ask him if he remembers anything about the victim, and he says that he remembers she was an African American. He begins walking them through that Friday, and he tells them that he had been drinking heavily that day, and that he knew he was going to kill somebody. Like, this is where it gets like real disturbing, because when this guy's in this interview, they have the recordings of it and everything, and he's just talking about it like what he did that Friday. He went for drinks, he went to dinner, he killed somebody, he went home, like
Watched
casual.
a little TV, watched a little Carson on the TV.
Yep, like casual. So anyway, so he didn't know who he was going to kill, but he knew he was going to kill somebody. He begins describing the neighborhood and telling him that he was staying with a friend next door and that he had never met the victim prior. So this is where it's scary, because like, seriously, someone just come to my house and murder me for
No reason.
because he felt like killing somebody that day?
Had a little drink, was like, hey, I think I want to kill somebody.
Yeah. He had just randomly decided that evening to go over to the home and murder someone. And he's just telling this all matter-of-factly to the police.
Police continue to have him tell the story, and he talks about going through a window or a backsliding door or something to the effect on the back of the house. All of this is matching up with what police believe happened. He talks about entering the home, and he saw that she had a baby in one room. He said he passed that room and goes into the master bedroom where he finds Robin. He says she's startled, she drops to her knees and goes to grab the phone. He said that he cut the cord and then he began to stab her. He tells investigators, I cut her up real good.
Those
which
were
is,
his words.
yes, his words, which are disturbing. They asked him if he remembers where he stabbed her, and he said he stabbed her everywhere. He said he was just using his military training in hand to hand combat. So, if you've ever been through basic training, you've done the basic hand to hand combat, and I guess that's all he knows about whatever. So, that's what he fell back on to assault her. And then he began to describe in detail the different places he would have
Drink,
stabbed.
drink.
Stabbed her. Yeah, this one's dark, so probably need some drinks
We
for
need
this one.
some drinks for this
Probably
one.
had a disclaimer at the beginning.
Yes, I can't wait to have a drink. We might have drunk Kara podcast again one day. I don't
Maybe.
know.
We just don't know. While he's telling the story, there is zero more emotion in his voice. It is a very matter of fact telling of the story. Police find it very unsettling. They asked him if he cut himself during the attack, and he said that she had cut up his face when she clawed him, and he can't remember if he went into the bathroom, but said that if he did go into the bathroom, it would have been probably to look at the scratches on his face.
Yeah, so thankfully she was able to get that in because that's what eventually solved this crime. Otherwise,
If there would have been new
because
DNA
this
there.
was so random because he did not know her at all. There would have been like no connection to her whatsoever.
Now, this is probably where he used the washcloth on his face, dabbed the blood, and he got the blood all over the washcloth, left it there. He then describes leaving the home. He tells them exactly what type of knife he used. He says he threw it in a body of water on his way back to the barracks. Back at the barracks, he took off his bloody clothes, put them in a trash bag, and threw them away. So he was at his friend's house probably partying, because that's what you do. You go to your friend's house that's married, probably got some housing
Off
out,
base camp,
off base housing of
housing.
some sort. You go there, you party. So they probably didn't even miss him that he didn't come back to the house, because there was probably a bunch of other people there. They were like, "Hey, where'd
No, he
Steven
would have
go?"
just left and would have randomly left, and
They would have continued on doing whatever they were doing.
yeah, and would have never because he didn't know the lady next door. They would have never been like, "Hey, he left. That was suspicious. Where did he go?" Because he didn't know her. It was just completely random that he would do this. So the police they started asking him, they like, "Hey, so you killed Robin? Did this like scratch that itch that you had to murder someone?" Because like you said, I just came up with this idea that I was going to I had a need to murder someone. I was going to find someone that day, and that's what I decided. And he said for that day it did. And they said, "Okay, well, what happened when that feeling came back that you needed to murder someone?" And he said, "You can believe me or not." He said, "But I could have been a serial killer." He said it was only his wife and children that prevented him from killing more people because he met his wife. He started having kids. It's kind of like, what's
Is a
his name?
responsible serial killer?
No, it's just like, what's his face? Dennis Rader. He killed all those. Oh, no, he didn't have, or he said he would have killed more. He did go on like it's like he went on a pause. There's plenty of them that go on, once they get a family, they go on a pause because it's like they have something in them, I guess. I don't know, but he continued to kill people. Why?
Yeah,
I believe. But he did say he stopped for a long time because of his family. Anyway, so he said, I could have been a serial killer. He said, I'm like a serial killer who only killed once. And that's the name of the episode, is the serial killer who only killed once. He told investigators that that's why he joined the army in the first place, was because he wanted to experience killing people. This entire interaction with him, again, was very disturbing, and investigators really couldn't believe what they were hearing, that this psychopath is just sitting here amongst us, you know. But the good thing is they now have Robin's killer in custody, and it does not appear that he had murdered anyone else when clearly he had plenty of opportunity, and he clearly had the desire to do it. Now, 5 days later, after speaking to him, they did get that DNA results back, and it was a match. So 29 years after Robin was murdered, they were able to charge Stephen Smirk, Stephen with the PH, with a second-degree murder charge. Now, this case would not go to trial, however, because Stephen pled guilty. During his sentencing, he was sentenced to 70 years in prison. However, due to the laws in Virginia in 1994, he will be eligible for parole in 2041. 2041. Is that the right thing?
Yes.
2041.
Yeah.
2041. So that's in like 25 years.
Yeah.
So we have visitors right now, guys. But anyways, he would have been young whenever he originally did this, so he could get out and be out for a few years before
Before nature gets him.
yes, hopefully nature takes him out before he gets out. Thankfully, I have a stash of Goodwill books. I go to the Goodwill and like ransack the books, so for 49 cents each. So
Yeah, I had to go Coco, the youngest one's ass, so that she would
yes,
stop coming in here.
we're doing
But
this in the
now the
morning.
oldest one decided to come in
And
here.
she knows what's going, or she doesn't, she's knows what's going on in terms of like the microphones, and like she can talk into it, and then she can hear herself back if we play for. So I have a stash of books that whenever I go to the Goodwill, they're 49 cents. So I buy different books for like just for random gifts later on in the year, could be birthdays, and I put them in the closet. And so she saw them, and I'm like, here. She's like, well, I'd like another else, because she's like, what's that one for Sissy? And I'm like, it's not a Coco Melon book. It's whatever. She's like, well, I want an Elsa book. And I happen to have an Elsa book in here. I'm like, here, take it.
Go away.
And then the baby comes in. Yes, then the baby comes in. I'm like, here, take this one. So they're only 49 cents. And I literally buy them and I just put them up here to give
But
them
we are
away.
on borrowed time right now.
Yes, so so that's our case. Thankfully, they found the person. Thankfully, he supposedly never killed anybody else. And I feel like if he had, he would have told him about it because he was very open. So I do believe he only killed
The
one, Robin. So anyway, and from what I understand is the daughter's doing fine. She wasn't involved with the show, but she is doing okay after that traumatizing event. So.
And Ollie, I guess, with his mistress.
With his mistress. Oh, we don't care about Ollie. Okay. It makes me wonder if he was so open to tell the police if like other people knew about the mistress, and maybe even, I don't know if Robin knew about it or what, if it was just like a
Open secret.
yeah, because he was
as they
very
say.
open about it. So, but I don't know. Anyways, so Stu, do you have a y'all need Jesus?
I do.
For us? Okay.
Comes to us from the Military Times, Kara, by Claire Barrett and J.D. Simpkins, Monday, February 2, 2026. Man hospitalized after inserting World War I munition up his rear.
I messed up. That's my chair, everybody. But I just realized, again, blaming the baby. I am good at math. It's not 25 years. It's 15 years. That he could be out in 15 years.
Oh, I wasn't even paying attention.
Okay, well, I was thinking 2051. It was 2041, so it's 15 years. Anyways, go ahead. I just need to make the corrections, Stu, because someone at
Did
there's
you even hear the headline, Kara?
No, I was too busy worrying about that. Then someone's yelling at me
You
like,
were-
"You dumb bitch! You can't even do math."
You're too busy worrying about your math to hear. Man hospitalized after inserting World War I munition up his rear.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Florida,
quite
not Florida.
Quite the shocker. Florida.
Frenchman hospitalized after inserting
Frenchman.
Frenchman.
Oh, what the French? Oh, it
Now,
seems like on
I've been doing my
brand.
my Duolingo for French. However, some of these pronunciations might not come out right.
Duolingo doesn't. Stuart, I need a new chair. This sounds like I'm doing something and I'm not. The
Well, quit
Duolingo
moving.
does not work. Stu's just obsessed. He knows no French. He's been doing it for 2 years and
I
he
know
don't
French.
know anything.
I can read it. I can.
He can't do anything.
I can
We went to
understand it.
France a year ago. He knew nothing.
We've been doing it for 5 minutes.
No, we hadn't. We had been doing it since earlier in the year and you knew nothing. It's a bullshit method.
Anyway.
Go on.
The anonymous Englishman who managed to lodge a 2-inch wide World War II anti-tank shell inside his rectum back in 2021 has been unseated. These people got puns for days. The phrase shell shock took on new meaning over the weekend when a 24-year-old Frenchman hobbled into the Rengier hospital in Toulouse, France, complaining of an unspecified pain. Rushed into surgery, the doctors soon discovered that the source of the unspecified pain turned out to be an 8-inch long, 37-millimeter brass and copper shell used by the Imperial German Army in the late stages of the Great War, WWI. According to the French newspaper La Dépêche,
La Dépêche.
La Dépêche, the medical staff in Toulouse are accustomed to treating victims injured during sexual games. Toulouse sounds like a little crazy little fun place to go, huh? If you want to insert things in your rectum. But are
I do not, Stu. Okay.
but are understandably unused to dislodging centuries-old munitions from rectums. He was in an God, can't even talk. He was in a state of extreme discomfort, having inserted a large object up his rectum, said an investigating source, stating the obvious. The artillery shell, unexploded at the time of removal, resulted in the evacuation of the hospital with an explosive
Oh,
ordnance
God.
disposal squad called to the hospital to ensure the munition was not in danger of detonating within the individual's personal hurt locker.
Well, that's just like, that's just adding another layer right there. It's like, reminds me of that one where at the Home Depot, whenever the guy did the bomb, they thought the bomb threat that you did because he was screaming.
About fitting to blow this up. And
It reminds me of that whole situation. So,
France is currently edging the British in its centuries-old rivalry, as this is not the first time a Frenchman has married munitions with the derriere. In 2022, an 88-year-old patient visited Hospital St. Meuse in Toulon, stunning doctors when they removed what turned out to be a World War I French-era munition measuring 8 inches long and more than 2 inches wide from the man's
God.
rectum. Surgeons were forced to cut open
if it
his...
don't at least vibrate, I'm not really sure.
Right?
I did not say that.
Yeah, you did it. It's on tape.
It's at the end. Nobody heard it.
Surgeons were forced to cut open his abdomen in order to remove the hefty relic due to the shell's considerably above average size.
Why is an 88-year-old man doing that? Why? And how did he maneuver?
We can give him a call, but he's probably
He must
in
have
on
set it down on something, stabilized it. What is happening in France?
Well, we're about to get even an apple, a mango, or even a can of shaving foam. We are used to finding unusual objects inserted where they shouldn't be, one doctor reported. But a shell? Never. Yeah, evidently people are shoving apples, mangoes, and
Well, I'm sure
shaving
they're
cream up
doing
their
it here
buttholes.
too.
Yes.
I think they had a whole TLC show about stuff
Finding
like
stuff in
this.
there?
Yes.
While the echoes of the Great War are now more than a century old, the vestiges of the deadly conflict remain. Along the Western Front, namely France and Belgium, remnants of the First World War are still coming to the surface. About 1.5 billion shells were fired during the war, and unexploded ammunition continues to plague Western Europe, particularly France.
All right, this is getting
No.
a little too historical, Stu.
Well, let's see. What we got?
We're not reading the whole chapters about World War One and
I
World
might
War
be.
Two.
That's almost over. The annual collection of ordnances, now called Récolte des Feux, and are in harvest, work to get rid, blah, blah. Work to get rid the land and now rectums of the explosives. I told you, these people got jokes. You gotta read this story. You gotta read it to the end, Kara.
No, we don't.
On Saturday, firefighters confirmed that they had defused the bomb and that there was no further risk to the patient or those in proximity to the hospital. While the patient is expected to make a full physical recovery, the mental scars of his very own trench warfare is another story. Still recuperating, the French national is set to be interviewed by police this week, and prosecutors are considering legal action against the 24-year-old for handling Category A munitions, according to an officer.
I mean, is that necessary? Don't they
Yes.
have bigger fish to
No.
fry?
No.
Anyways, okay.
No, you got to set a precedent. If we get this thing out of your ass, we're going to put you in jail so that anybody else that finds stuff, they quit putting it in their ass and evacuating hospitals.
Okay, all right. I think we're done. The children are coming back, so we need to stop talking about this.
About asses.
Yes, before the yes.
Excuse me, arses.
All right. Well, that is our case for the week. We will. I guess you got anything else to add, Stu? Nope. Okay,
Should I?
good. We will see you next time. Hopefully next week, or if we have a baby. We don't know. Anything could happen.
Next week, next year, we just don't know.
Definitely within the next 2 weeks. So, anyways, we will see you next time. Bye, everyone. Say bye, Stu.
Bye, Stu.
Don't you know it's bad luck to be superstitious, but nothing else is working, and my head is really hurting, and I'm sick of all this work.